looking at the original intent of those who ratified our Constitution, talking about how the government was to work, how it was to function, and that amendments were part of that. We made an amendment called the 18th Amendment. And in that, after its ratification, the manufacture, sale, or transportation of intoxicating liquors within, the importation thereof into, or the exportation thereof from the United States and all its territories, subject to the jurisdiction thereof, for beverage purposes, is hereby prohibited. Now, we got rid of that same um, amendment later with the 21st Amendment. And in that, we said the 18th Article of Amendment of the Constitution of the United States is hereby repealed. The transportation or importation into any state, territory, or possession of the United States for delivery or use therein of intoxicating liquors in violation of the laws thereof is hereby prohibited. Um, this amendment caused some problems. We got a huge amount of crime that developed in our country because of this, and that filtered over into our government, and that has been a problem. Declaration and restriction is what we have to get back to. And the means of doing this is education, just so you understand. You have to educate, not legislate. Every time you legislate to get something done, you give away your power. And what they were doing in this case was people knew how other people should live their lives. I'm sure they thought they were absolutely correct and they were very sincere. But by using the federal government, they just horribly, horribly caused problems. Okay? Now, alcohol has its own problems. I think the Bible says a little wine for thine off infirmities. It says someplace else, don't get drunk. That's the short of it. That being said, um, this whole amendment business, it's designed to restrict the federal government. That's the thing. And then we want to use it where we want to use our own power. But that should be for everybody's benefit. And you never want to try to legislate morality, nor do you want to try to legislate how people should live their lives because you know how they should live their lives. Dictators and tyrants know how people should live their lives, and they're quite willing to tell you how to live your life. Okay, and you say, well, we're not a dictator, we're not a tyrant, we're just very sincere, wonderful people who want to help everybody. Good. Get out there and help them. But don't use the federal government to do it. That causes problems. And this is what people have to see. So we need then to first educate ourselves as to the importance of declaration and restriction. To do that, probably your best tool is to read the ratification letters. Download them and read them. Read the preamble to the Bill of Rights, and then also read some history. Understand some of the problems, which is what the people who ratified our Constitution did. They understood the problems, the true problems that were happening around the world in government. Their solution then becomes clear that this is the way to solve your problem, because the problem is abuse and misconstruction of the power which we have vested in the government, which came from our agreeing together to form a government in the first place. So then you have to educate yourself and then educate others. Help them to see this. Once people then are educated, okay, you can move forward in trying to recover your government, get it back, and bring it to the point where it no longer is being abused and misconstructed. For many of you, this will take a very, very strenuous change in your thinking, because you're pretty sure using the federal government to do what you think is right is really a good thing. Problem is, it's those other guys. They keep trying to use the federal government for what they think is right. Well, you know that's a bad thing. And you guys just hate each other, want to destroy each other, and you say very nasty things about each other. And then you try to get your guy in, and then the next time along, they get their guy in, and you go back and forth. Now, I'll show you what happens with that as we move forward. Hopefully, this is helping.